The loss of a loved one is one of life's most profound challenges. Whether it's a spouse, child, sibling, or close friend, the void they leave behind can feel overwhelming. For many seniors, this experience is especially poignant because it often coincides with other significant life changes, such as retirement or declining health. While grief is a deeply personal journey, it doesn't have to define your entire existence. With time, support, and intentional effort, you can find meaning and purpose in your new reality. In this article, we'll explore practical ways to navigate grief, honor the memory of your loved one, and rediscover joy in life. We'll also share inspiring stories from people who have walked this path and emerged stronger on the other side. Take Mary from Ohio, for example. After losing her husband of 50 years, she felt lost and unsure how to move forward. But through small steps like joining a grief support group and volunteering at a local library, she found a renewed sense of purpose. It wasn't easy, she says, but I learned that life goes on, and so can I. Let's dive into how you can cope with loss and create a fulfilling new chapter in your life. 1. Understanding grief. It's okay to feel what you feel. Grief is not a linear process. It ebbs and flows, often catching us off guard when we least expect it. Psychologists describe grief as a series of stages including denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, but these stages don't follow a predictable order. Some days you might feel hopeful, while others may bring waves of sadness. This unpredictability is normal, and there's no right way to grieve. Why acknowledging your emotions matters. Ignoring or suppressing your feelings can prolong the healing process. Instead, allow yourself to fully experience your emotions without judgment. Cry if you need to cry. Talk about your loved one, or write down your thoughts in a journal. These acts of self-expression can help release pent-up pain and provide clarity. Example: Susan from California kept a grief journal after her son passed away unexpectedly. Writing helped her process her thoughts and eventually led her to pen heartfelt letters to him. Putting my feelings into words gave me a sense of peace, she explains. Give yourself permission to grieve. There's no timeline for grief. Some people begin to heal within months, while others take years. Be patient with yourself and avoid comparing your journey to someone else's. Remember, healing isn't about forgetting, it's about finding a way to carry your loved one's memory with you as you move forward. Delving deeper, the science of grief. To truly understand grief, let's explore its psychological and physiological effects. Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, pioneer in the study of death and dying, introduced the 5 stages of grief as a framework for understanding emotional responses to loss. However, modern research suggests that grief is far more complex than a simple progression through stages. Neuroscientists have discovered that grief activates regions of the brain associated with attachment, reward, and social bonding. This explains why losing someone we love feels so physically painful. It disrupts neural pathways tied to our sense of connection. Additionally, prolonged grief can weaken the immune system, increase inflammation, and elevate the risk of cardiovascular disease. Understanding this science underscores the importance of addressing grief proactively. Ignoring your emotions won't make them disappear. Instead, it can manifest in physical symptoms like fatigue, headaches, or digestive issues. By acknowledging your feelings and seeking support, you protect both your mental and physical health. A personal journey. John's story. John from Texas lost his wife of 42 years to cancer. In the months following her death, he struggled to eat, sleep, or focus on daily tasks. At first, he tried to push through his grief, believing that staying busy would help him move on. But the harder he worked to suppress his emotions, the worse he felt. Finally, John decided to attend a grief counseling session. There, he learned that his body was responding to unresolved emotional pain. His therapist encouraged him to express his feelings openly and suggested activities like journaling and mindfulness meditation. Over time, John noticed improvements not just emotionally, but physically as well. I realized I couldn't outrun my grief, he reflects, but facing it head on made all the difference. 2. Building a support system. You're not alone. One of the hardest aspects of losing a loved one is feeling isolated in your pain. However, reaching out for support can make a world of difference. Surrounding yourself with compassionate people helps lighten the burden of grief and reminds you that you're not alone. Join a grief support group. Connecting with others who understand what you're going through can be incredibly validating. Many communities offer in-person or virtual grief support groups specifically designed for seniors. Sharing your story with peers creates a safe space to express your emotions and learn coping strategies. Success story. James from Florida joined a bereavement group after his wife passed away. At first, he was hesitant to open up, but over time, he formed deep bonds with fellow members. Hearing their stories made me realize I wasn't the only one struggling, he says. We supported each other through the darkest days. Lean on family and friends. Your loved ones want to help, they just might not know how. Let them know what you need, whether it's a listening ear, help with errands, or simply spending time together. Don't hesitate to ask for specific kinds of support. Tip: if talking face to face feels too difficult, try texting or emailing. Sometimes written communication can feel less intimidating during early stages of grief. Seek professional help. If your grief becomes all-consuming or leads to symptoms of depression, consider speaking with a therapist or counselor. Mental health professionals specialize in helping individuals navigate complex emotions and develop healthy coping mechanisms. Expanding your network. Online communities. In today's digital age, online forums and social media platforms offer additional avenues for connection. Websites like GriefShare and the Compassionate Friends provide resources, discussion boards, and virtual events tailored to those experiencing loss. These communities allow you to connect with others regardless of geographic location. Real-life example. Patricia from Illinois found solace in an online grief support forum after her daughter passed away. Though she initially hesitated to join, she quickly discovered a welcoming community of people who understood her pain. Reading other stories helped me feel less alone, she shares. Even though we were miles apart, we supported each other every step of the way. The power of shared experiences. Sometimes, the most comforting aspect of support systems is knowing that others have walked a similar path. Hearing success stories can inspire hope and remind you that healing is possible. For instance, David from Arizona attended a weekend retreat for widowers, hosted by a local nonprofit. The event included workshops, group discussions, and recreational activities designed to foster camaraderie. I went in feeling broken, but I left with a renewed sense of purpose, David recalls. Meeting men who had rebuilt their lives gave me the courage to do the same. 3. Honoring their memory. Keeping them alive in your heart. Finding ways to honor your loved one's memory can bring comfort and keep their spirit alive in your daily life. This could mean creating rituals, preserving mementos, or channeling your energy into meaningful projects. Create a tribute. Building a physical reminder of your loved one can be therapeutic. For instance, plant a tree in their honor, compile a photo album, or frame a favorite quote of theirs. These tangible tributes serve as reminders of the love you shared. Real-life example. Patricia from New York turned her late husband's woodworking tools into a memorial bench for her garden. Every time she sits on it, she feels his presence. It's like he's still here with me, she shares. Start a legacy project. Some people choose to honor their loved ones by giving back to the community. For example, start a scholarship fund in their name, volunteer for a cause they cared about, or organize an annual event to celebrate their life. Inspiring story. Robert from Texas established a charity run in memory of his daughter, who loved running marathons. The event brings together hundreds of participants each year and raises funds for cancer research. It keeps her legacy alive and inspires others to live boldly, Robert says. Celebrate their life through rituals. Rituals provide structure and meaning during times of uncertainty. Consider lighting a candle on special anniversaries, cooking their favorite meal, or visiting places that held significance for them. These actions transform grief into gratitude and ensure your loved one remains a part of your life. Personal reflection. Margaret from Oregon marks her husband's birthday each year by hosting a dinner party with friends and family. It's a joyful way to remember him, she says. Instead of focusing on his absence, we celebrate everything he brought to our lives. Turning pain into purpose. A call to action. For some, honoring a loved one's memory involves dedicating themselves to causes that align with their values. This act of service not only honors the deceased, but also fosters personal growth and resilience. Consider Barbara from Michigan, whose son died in a car accident caused by distracted driving. Determined to prevent similar tragedies, Barbara launched a campaign to raise awareness about road safety. She speaks at schools, distributes educational materials, and advocates for stricter laws. Losing my son was devastating, but turning my pain into action has given me a reason to keep going, she says. 4. Rediscovering joy. Finding purpose in your new life. While the pain of loss never fully disappears, it's possible to build a fulfilling life beyond grief. By exploring new interests, setting goals, and nurturing relationships, you can find joy and meaning again. Pursue hobbies and passions. Engaging in activities you enjoy or discovering new ones can reignite your zest for life. Whether it's painting, gardening, dancing, or traveling, hobbies provide a sense of accomplishment and distraction from sorrow. Example: Linda from Illinois took up watercolor painting after her husband passed away. She joined a local art class and quickly bonded with other students. Painting became my therapy, she says. It gave me something beautiful to focus on. Travel and explore. Traveling allows you to step outside your routine and create new memories. Even short trips to nearby towns or nature reserves can refresh your perspective and remind you of life's beauty. Tip: consider joining senior travel groups or tours tailored to older adults. These excursions often foster camaraderie and reduce the stress of planning. Volunteer and give back. Helping others can be incredibly rewarding and shift your focus from loss to gratitude. Volunteering at hospitals, libraries, animal shelters, or schools lets you connect with your community and make a positive impact. Success story: Barbara from Michigan began tutoring children in reading after her husband died. Teaching kids gives me a reason to get up every morning, she says. I feel like I'm making a difference. Reconnecting with old friends. Loss often prompts reflection on existing relationships. Reach out to old friends or acquaintances you haven't seen in years. Rekindling these connections can bring unexpected joy and remind you of shared experiences. Real-life example: Carol from Pennsylvania reconnected with a childhood friend through Facebook. They hadn't spoken in decades, but their reunion sparked a renewed friendship. Talking to her brought back so many happy memories, Carol says. It reminded me that life is full of second chances. Embracing change. A new perspective. After losing her husband, Sarah from Colorado struggled to imagine a future without him. But over time, she realized that embracing change was key to moving forward. She sold their home, downsized to a cozy apartment, and adopted a rescue dog. At first, I resisted letting go of the past, she admits, but stepping into the unknown opened doors I never expected. 5. Quotes and inspiration. Words to carry with you. What we have once enjoyed deeply we can never lose. All that we love profoundly becomes part of us. Helen Keller. This quote reminds us that love transcends physical presence. Though our loved ones may no longer be with us, their influence remains etched in our hearts forever. 6. Final thoughts. A journey toward healing. Losing a loved one is undoubtedly painful, but it doesn't have to mean the end of happiness. By leaning on your support system, honoring your loved one's memory, and embracing new opportunities, you can find meaning and joy in your life again. As author Elizabeth Kubler-Ross once said, "The reality is that you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. You will learn to live with it." If this article resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How have you coped with loss? And what advice would you give to others? And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content.